Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on Dynamic Encounters and listening to our podcast. My name is Adam, and what we're trying to do with this podcast is turn it into an actual play of a tabletop RPG campaign. For this podcast, we're going to be playing the Pathfinder 2e system, which was created by Paizo. Me and all my friends here, this is our first time playing the system, but we played a lot together on and off, I'd say for about the last 6 years, and we played a lot of Pathfinder 1st Edition and Starfinder, which are other games made by Paizo. For this campaign, we're going to be playing the Blood Lord's adventure path. This adventure is really cool since it takes place in a region of the game world where undead are the dominant people, citizens, whatever you want to call it. And it's really cool because I think that's going to open up the door for undead characters, which I love. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say about the game. I think we can go around now and everyone can introduce themselves.
Yeah, so I think I'll start. Hi, my name's John. I will be playing Knick-Knack. He's a skeleton thaumaturge. Yeah, I used to play D&D for a really long time, and then I started playing, a lot of like Pathfinder and Starfinder with these guys, and that's kind of how we got into it. And I'm really looking forward to this campaign. You very rarely get to play an undead character, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, I'll go next. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Nico, and in this campaign, I'm going to be playing a undead oracle named Mathis. I'm kind of excited for this character. I usually steer kind of away from the spellcaster, so I think this will be a nice experience for me, and really excited to try out some of the new mechanics with being an undead character. So, yeah.
All right, I'll go. My name is Andrew. I will be playing a human investigator. Even though this isn't a heavy undead setting, I've never played human, so I wanted to try human out once to give it a go. I also like the investigator. It's a class that uses intelligence, but it is also a martial. And I think any martial that uses a mental stat is very interesting. And I'm excited to play around in the setting and see where this adventure takes us.
Alrighty, and last up is myself. My name's Ryan, and I'll be playing a dwarf cleric named Ilrune. I'm pretty excited to see where this goes. I've never played a support character, really. I've only ever played like casters or the big smashy smash guys.
Hey, it's me, Adam, again. Before we jump into it, I guess I should disclose that I am the Dungeon Master. What that means is I will be controlling all of the NPCs, monsters, traps, and everything our heroes and characters are going to encounter in the world. So thanks for listening. Let's jump into it.
Okay, last thing before we jump into some gameplay. We did try to play some background music during the first few episodes, and it did screw up while we were editing, so you may hear some coming in and out while we are talking. But please bear with us for the first few episodes and enjoy.
Okay, so I think first thing we should probably set the scene for what's exactly going on. So this campaign takes place in a region of the world known as Geb. It's about 70% undead, and a lot of the world kind of looks down on Geb and they're disgusted with its practices of necromancy, but they still buy a lot of food from them because they have the cheap labor from using zombies to make their food. The nation is ruled, their leader is named Geb, he's a necromancer. And the rest of the nation, there's like a series of governors called Blood Lords, which are typically powerful wizards, and there's usually a bunch of power plays and struggles between them. They're always plotting to sort of get ahead and increase their power, but they all work together to make up the like loose government that is Geb. For this campaign, we're going to be starting off in the city of Grey Dirge, which is the breadbasket of Geb. There's a lot of farms around, and the Blood Lord for this region, her name is Berline Haldoli. You guys, I don't think you guys ever revealed these reasons yet, at least to each other. You've told me about them, but you've all done a small job for Berline in the past, and she has now invited you guys to her manor to talk about business. You guys aren't exactly sure what, but that's sort of where you're at right now. So I think Nico, give me some music to like set the scene.
Absolutely. All right.
How does everybody show up? How are you gonna show up? You're gonna just you're gonna walk there, or are you gonna you like get off your bone horse and like stride down from your bone horse and you're like, hi, this is me.
I don't think I can afford a bone horse.
You don't have bone horse? Yeah, I'm also very povertous.
Are we all like arriving here together?
Yeah, you guys are arriving together. So I think you guys are basically approaching this giant estate. It has like 10-foot high stone wall. It encloses 3 sides of Berline's property, and then the back wall, it's a giant 30-foot high wall of bone. It's all bone fused together, and that surrounds the entirety of Grey Dirge. Yeah, so as you guys approach, you can see there's a ghoul in a butler outfit out front, and I think we can let everyone sort of describe their characters now and sort of how they're approaching together. John, would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. So my character is a little bit like ragtag, like in terms of armor and sacks. I feel like I am just like kitted out to the nines in like different pouches, and I've got little like reliquaries hanging off of me. I just look like I'm carrying an enormous amount of clutter, and that's just, it's all the things that I need to do my job, and it's all disarrayed and disentangled and impossible to understand. I don't know what else I should say.
Yeah, I mean, kind of
me.
contrary to that, you got your little nicks and knacks.
Oh,
No, but I don't really need anything to do what I do. So apart from my leather armor, really, there's and like the standard like adventuring gear, I don't really have much else. But I'm definitely not one that would, burst through a door and lead the way. So, if I see you, I'm definitely gonna let you experience whatever's awaiting first. So
it's kind of like a pack rat thing that I got going on.
yeah. You walk into a room, you just start filling your bags.
That's literally it.
You just got bags upon bags of just everything.
Okay. So my guy, he has medium curly black hair. He's got a goatee, brown eyes. He has a wide brim hat on with a little feather on top. He is currently wearing studded leather armor. At the center of his studded leather armor, you see a symbol. Not really sure what it is, but it definitely bears resemblance to something that could be like a family crest of some sort. He's wearing leather gloves and boots. And on his back, he has an Haldoli dueling sword. And on his left hand, he has a gauntlet with a bow on top. Like a little gauntlet crossbow.
So in terms of like, would we recognize like an Haldoli dueling sword as Haldoli? Like, is it unique enough that we would recognize it?
I think so.
That's a question
Yeah.
for Adam.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Like it would catch our eye. Like,
Yeah,
oh my
like,
god, look, have you seen-
Haldoli.
Did you see the guy that walked in with the Haldoli dueling sword?
Oh my goodness.
Can you believe this?
Yeah, so he kind of stands out a bit compared to, I mean, I guess Pouch Man and Nothing Man also kind of stand out in their own way.
I mean, I'd go over my appearance, but like being a skeleton and all,
That's true.
I look very bony.
I did forget to mention one of the most like standout things about my character is that I have like, I'm currently holding a lit lantern. You said it was like during the day. I have a lit lantern anyways that I'm holding, and it looks a lot like somebody cut the top off a wrought iron like lamppost. It's just like kind of disentangled and like held on a cheap like copper wire. But I bring it with me everywhere.
I love it.
Probably got a lot of weird looks when you're walking over here. Okay, go ahead, Ryan.
Alright, so yeah, as I approach, you notice I have long braided black hair and a neatly trimmed beard. You tell I'm a little bit older now, but even so, I'm especially pale and sunken. One thing you might notice that's a little bit odd about me, since I'm a dwarf, I have a lack of a clan dagger. You might find that out, the reason why I'm lacking that later, but it is something to note.
And a clan dagger is usually something that all dwarves travel with.
No. This is our first meeting. Why don't you tell us in detail all of your history? Here, I think we should do like 20 minutes of exposition on each of us.
Yeah.
So I take it for the most part, we're all just kind of walking up to this place.
Yeah.
And we're like, you're just noticing at first glance.
You
like,
guys
oh, there's...
know you've all been kind of summoned together,
Yeah.
but you don't really. I mean, you guys may have talked a little bit because it's only like a couple, like 10-minute walk from town to get here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like you talked a lot. And as you guys approach the ghoul I mentioned earlier in the butler outfit, he'll say, "Hello, I am Major Domo Mayerk. I assume you are the four that Berline. Is that an Haldoli sword on?"
It is.
Anyway, I digress. Welcome to the Haldoli estate. I will take you to the mansion now. And he'll push the gate open, and he'll start leading you guys through. And you can see there's a bunch of zombies tending to the gardens, trying to get like the landscaping in order. And there's also like humans that are trying to like control them. And I think you guys would know for the most part, these people are called... DM is loading.
buffering.
It's a good thing that we have the
there an
official titles.
abundance of, like, I know obviously Geb all undead, but I mean, like, are there just an abundance of undead workers all over the city, sweeping, cleaning? Like, it's
Yeah,
just
I would say it's
you're
mostly
walking past undead all the time.
all the time. I mean, most like basic jobs, it's undead, and as you're walking around, like the milkman, like you're waving to a skeleton.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And milk is a big business. And yeah, it makes sense. There's a lot of skeletons, a lot of strong bones
to be strengthened.
Yeah.
So on that note, though, is it like the city's really clean then? Like if there's like a
it's
ton of
spotless.
workers, yeah,
It's spotless.
like it's very well maintained.
Wouldn't it be like a 50-50 of like really clean, and then anywhere that zombies are hanging out, there's just rotting flesh?
I know.
On the
They're
cobblestones.
sweeping as their flesh is
Yeah.
Okay, so these people, these workers are called corpse tenders, and they're kind of controlling the zombies. And Mayurk says, "Please pay no mind to the help. They're just getting the garden and stay. Just ignore them." And you guys are walking up to the manor, and you can see one of the corpse tenders is trying to lead the zombie across the path you guys are walking on. And once this zombie gets about like halfway through, it sort of just stops, and it just turns to face you guys. And it's no longer paying attention to the corpse tender, and it's just intently staring you guys. And then lets out like a low moan, and it starts to approach you guys.
Are these zombies that can speak?
No, these ones don't. Are some zombies
Like they're
that
just
have,
mindless, but
they're
like
mindless
they can't even
zombies.
talk to you. They can just grunt at you,
Yeah.
essentially. Okay.
Mhm.
So it sort of lets out a grunt, and it starts approaching you guys, and you can it's sort of cut out by the sharp creak of a door that opens up, and you guys can see a halfling of about medium height and middle age stands on the villa's front porch. She's wearing a yellow dress with ruffles, an orange cloak with the hood thrown back to show her brownish red curly hair, and she has a necklace of a bunch of charms of like bones and stuff. She's holding a gnarled black staff that's topped with a pig skull, and she begins tapping on the porch's wooden rail to get the zombie's attention. And you can see the zombie starts looking at her and loses focus on you guys. She takes a few barefoot steps in the direction, and she calls out, Glorinsa. And you can see a servant comes running around the corner, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Mistress Haldoli. That won't happen again." And she'll start letting out she'll snap her fingers a little bit, and the zombie starts looking at her, and she starts singing a soothing song, and she leads the zombie out back into the gardens.
What song?
That's all I got.
Yeah, one note.
Glory.
One note.
Wow.
Wow, what a soothing!
Soothing.
I feel so soothing.
I'm very relaxed.
Very,
Yeah.
very relaxed.
Then from there, Berline will walk down the steps and say, my friends, thank you so much for coming." And she'll give each of you hugs, and she says, please come in. Dinner's almost ready.
Okay. We don't eat, but okay.
No, we have food for. We live in Geb. We have food for all sorts of creatures.
Mm.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, of
Thank
course.
you very much.
Please, Mayurk, please lead them inside. Lead them inside. Is it yes, Madam Haldoli? And they'll lead you guys inside.
Is she sticking around with us, or is she like on the move? She's like,
She's on-
hey, come eat, and then she's going off and doing something, or do we have a second to talk to her?
You can talk to her. What do you want to say to her?
All right, I just want to say, like, can I ask why you're bringing us here, or are we gonna get into that later?
Let's save business for after dinner. I don't think we need to be talking about it here, especially with all the help around. And she points to all the servants and stuff.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I guess we're.
I
I'm,
guess
I'm,
we- I guess
I'm
we
down
walk
to go into the
Okay.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Or the.
Oh
the
yeah, so
dining room.
so my Yerk will take you guys inside. He'll bring you into a side room. There's a pretty large banquet table here. And he says, "Please make yourself comfortable. The mistress will be out shortly with the food."
Is there a head chair at the table?
Yes,
I
but
sit in it.
we tend to keep that for the mistress.
Are there assigned seating, or just sit wherever? Can we sit spaced out completely?
I guess
it's like when you go into the urinal. Maintain the appropriate distance.
I suppose. I mean, there's enough seating for like quite a few people here. So if you want to be spaced out,
Mm.
are you just gonna shout at her from the other side of the table? What are you talking about?
I'm gonna ask her to pass the salt and then wait for her to get up and walk all the way. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just sit near the head chair then.
Yeah, I'll shrink up near the head chair as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit near the front of the table as well,
Okay.
just to keep the conversation a little bit
Okay.
closer.
How's the table set? Like, is there food already?
So right
on
now,
there,
there's
or-
no food or anything on the
nothing?
table. It's not set yet. There's just a tablecloth on it.
Mm.
As you guys sit down, Mayurk will give you guys a bow, and you'll head back into the kitchen. and then you guys see two zombie workers come out with baskets that they put on the table, and then a bunch of like hands like that they've been cut off, they've been reanimated. They crawl onto the table and they're setting up all the plates and
Oh, I thought that was like
forks
the
and stuff.
bread
No.
at the meal.
Yeah.
You get hands as the appetizer.
Oh, yeah, so these hands
Finger
are
food.
yeah, literally.
so these hands start setting up the table, and then you can see Meyerk's kind of looking around for something, and he's like, "Oh, it's on the shelf. Oh, Reacher, please come in here." And you see a skeleton walks in, and he pops his hand off with one hand, and he reaches up to grab some more plates on a higher shelf.
This is why skeletons are so cool. This is not the ancestral feat that I chose for my skeleton, but it is one of the best ones.
Yeah. So they finish setting the table, and then the hands and zombies will leave, and then you guys kind of have a couple minutes now to sort of chat amongst yourselves before dinner comes out.
I'm Mathis. What do you go by?
Knick-knack.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yes, the pleasure's all mine.
I don't have to actually shake your hand, but yeah, so we shake hands or whatever.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to know more about what's going on. So I think I'm going to probe you. I'm just going to say, like,
Do you have any idea why she called us here? Any background or anything?
No, it's been years since I worked for Berline. Berline. Pardon me.
Berline, yeah.
She hates when you get her name wrong.
I gotta practice.
No. I can't imagine.
Likewise.
The last time I was here, I was on contract, so I have no idea. How about you? Is that is that an Haldoli dueling sword?
It is. Thank you for noticing.
Are those common, or are they everywhere? 'Cause
No, you have to devote your life to train with one of these things.
oh,
My name is Igzy Haldoli.
nice to meet you. I'm Knick-knack.
I'm Knick-knack. I love it.
Everybody's got such impressive names. I'm named after household objects.
Yeah, so I'm definitely the shortest at the table, but you can still tell I'm looking down at you guys a little bit.
I'm just picturing like your nose is at the table. Like, we're
Why
all
did you choose
talking
to
and then-
stand? We're all sitting.
you wouldn't happen to have a booster seat.
Razor. Oh, Reacher. Sorry.
Reacher, yeah, he just picks you up and holds you at your seat.
They just get 4 of those like disembodied hands that come stand under your ass and just hold you up.
I just want to, like, baby Bjorn me, like kind of reach behind me and hold me up.
Ooh, yeah.
All right, well, it seems like none of us know why we're here. Correct?
Well,
Yeah.
Igzy will look at the dwarf to his left and say, "So who are you then?"
I am Ilrun. I would say it's a pleasure to meet you. I don't know why we were all called here. I received a summons this morning excusing me from my regular duty. Not too sure.
It would seem we're all in the dark.
Yes, that does seem to be the case.
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing else to
Okay.
ask then.
Yeah,
right?
I think at this point then, Berline will come in with food as well as some other zombie servants. Some of the big hits from the meal tonight, I guess the two skeletons here don't really like it.
Mm.
But for our two living characters, we have the main course is a sweet and savory chicken, egg, and almond pie. She also serves bowls of steamed grains with caramelized onions, raisins, and stewed vegetables. There's a tomato and cucumber salad, a hearty stew of lamb, carrots, and potatoes, and a basket filled with loaves of freshly baked bread.
Okay, for reference, I eat a bit of everything, but I just masticate and drop it all on the chair. Like it just goes right through me.
So
And you also put leftovers in your bag.
Yeah. I take a whole lamb leg and I stuff it in a backpack.
they'll start handing out the food, and then Berline's like, please start eating, family style, help yourselves. Can I get you two anything? We have food for all sorts of the undead that live within Geb. Perhaps some calcium.
Yes, a big old glass of milk.
Yeah, calcium paste. So I can
Yes.
rub it on my bones.
Oh yeah, it's like when you go to the beach, you get the zinc and you rub it on your.
Yeah, that's all I do. I take a calcium bath every night.
We nibble on. Well, no, we don't nibble on bones, but as skeletons, you like. They say like you consume bones for like repair.
It's like replacements. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys start eating. Berline finally kind of sits down and enjoys it. But if you guys ever like, oh, can I get a spoon? a bigger fork, she'll get up and get it.
We just have like a
you
big
know,
ol' happy-
common dinner requests. Can I have a bigger fork?
I don't know.
You gotta need Tabasco sauce.
Is it like a fine dining set, or is it just kind of like you're going to someone's house?
I mean, she's a blood lord. She's pretty wealthy, so it's
Okay.
definitely finer than you
Fine
would see
dining.
at someone's house.
How is her behavior? Like, is she acting like kind of nervous, or is she pretty much like excited, happy to see us?
Give me a perception check to sense motive. The first die roll of the podcast.
Oh, we're using my fancy die here. All right, let's see. Sorry, I just gotta open the character sheet here. All right. Oh, 11.
11. She just seems really like bubbly and happy that
Okay.
you guys are here. Nothing sus about her.
Okay, that's all I noticed. Then.
So we're just taking some time to eat, and we're just socializing.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just gonna lean into it. Berline.
Yes.
I can't. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt the pleasantries of the meal, but can we know what it is that you called us here for? Sort of the business.
We can discuss it after. I hate mixing up pleasure and business. I think it's just better we eat and we can talk after.
Okay, not to be direct, but how much more pleasure do we have here before we can get to the business?
Yeah. Well, if we must get to it,
Well, this is actually a 13-course meal, so stretched over 3 days.
it shouldn't be much longer now. And I guess, do you guys have any questions, like aside from the business, that you want to ask her? Before?
How are you doing? How's the weather?
Good.
Yes.
I'm
Any
good.
new construction projects in the region? I know you're leading quite a bit of work in Grey Dirt.
Yes, we're building some new farms, trying to experiment with some new cultivation methods, but for the most part, nothing too major.
Berline, has anyone managed to take over my position since I've left?
No, it's hard to find people these days.
Oh,
You know,
no one
not-
wants to work.
No one wants to work. It's a bunch of quiet quitters. It's not the best anymore. But yeah. Anything else, guys? And then we can move this forward.
I was curious if my watch commander was notified of my absence today.
You know, I think so. I told someone to take care of that, and I really hope they did take care of it.
If I would be able to attain some sort of note.
Oh, of
or-
course, we can get Reacher.
I appreciate that. I am still new to this.
Reacher does two things. He reaches and he also writes doctor's notes.
Reacher writes a flawless note. You can actually read the writing. He gives you a note. You're good to go.
I am sorry, I'm illiterate.
Oh, Reacher, high five. Across the table.
I am not illiterate.
Oh, thank you
for
for
reference.
specifying.
I feel like that
Wait,
will
like
come up
you,
again.
Ryan, or you, Ilrun? I just
Surprise! I've just been guessing what's on my character sheet.
All right, so Berline, she'll gesture to all the servants to she'll kind of start waving her hands, and they'll begin clearing the table. They'll finish cleaning up rather quickly, and then from there, Berline will say, "Well, I believe we can discuss our business now. So first off, I just want to say thank you all so much for joining me today. I trust you enjoyed the meal. If not, we can always turn you to a zombie." Anyway, I jest. But anyway, I'm sure as you know, I am a necromancer by trade, and I'm also a blood lord. So basically a necromancer with lots of paperwork and responsibilities. I'm also closely affiliated with the Reanimators. They're one of the many great factions of Geb. And I'm also, my main responsibility is raising and maintaining the undead labor force that operate the farms around Grey Dirge. We grow a lot of food in Geb, not just for Gebites, but for trade across the entire Inner Sea region. And I'm talking about actual people food, not people that are being served as food. And if you didn't know that.
good for the clarification. Yeah.
Yes, I know. You looked at me a little confused. I just wanted to make sure. So, it's a pretty difficult and dangerous line of work. It's possible to turn most of these zombies that work these farms to relatively docile creatures if you employ the right techniques. The charge hands on my farms keep the working zombies from shambling, and mostly just focus on their tasks at hand. Most of my charge hands are actually zombies themselves, but they retain a bit of their personality and memories. They do good work. However, in the last few days, I learned of some trouble at one of my farms that supplies food for the people of Grey Dirge itself. Old Urgaz farm. It's built in the foundations of an old stone dwelling of some kind, possibly as old as Grey Dirge itself. I'm not really sure. The farm missed a few shipments earlier today, and I sent some workers to investigate, but they couldn't get too close because there were zombies roaming everywhere. I can't imagine any of my charge hands would abandon their duties, much less all of them. So I suspect we have foul play at hand.
If they're used to, I guess I'm talking to her. So, if they're used to tending to zombies, why are these groups different? There's so many around they can't investigate.
Well, these zombies, they're no longer docile. They're just running amok and attacking people. And I didn't send charge hands to tame the zombies, so they're not familiar with the techniques.
Would this have anything to do with the zombie that seemed to break away when we were entering the premises?
Possibly. I don't think... I had pretty good charge hands there. They're pretty experienced. And for all the zombies to be running amok, so that's not right. If one person left, they could take care of it, but it seems like all of them just disappeared.
Your the servant you called earlier to tame the zombie, Galea,
Clarissa.
pardon me. Is she? Do you trust her? Is she like a fairly new?
She's fairly new. She's still learning. So I'm sure you saw the little mishap we had when you got here, but she's learning. She's getting better every day. Anyway, I guess that's where the four of you come in. I would like you to go to Old Urga's farm and put the place back in working order. From the sound of it, the zombies caused a fair bit of damage. Broken enclosures, doors wrenched from their hinges, trampled crops. Apparently the people I sent also saw some bodies, so I hope it's not the charge hands, but that's for you to investigate. Fix what you can, recover any food that's worth eating, and make sure the zombies can't do any damage. And most importantly, I'd like you to find out what happened and report back. If you go there, you should seek out Braddock. He's in charge of the farm. He's actually the only living member of the workforce, and he's actually a distant cousin of mine. So I guess you could say there was some nepotism in play. You'll know him by his bare feet and red hair, much like mine. And I'm sure you guys are curious with payment. As payment, I will sign over the deed to a recently abandoned manor just outside the city. It recently came into my possession, and I could think of no better use for it than to reward my new friends for their service. Do you have any questions for me before you head out?
So how many staff did you have working here? Like how many beyond the sort of like the growers and those tending the crops, the actual charge hands and
I'm not sure exact. I'd say 10 to 12 typically. Plus Braddock would put around 13. So there's that man, and then there was probably another 30 zombies, but it sounds like some of them have wandered out.
Anything we should know about the farm? Anything unique about it?
I don't. Oh, yes. Watch out for Moshguta. It's a massive, practically unkillable cow. I raised them myself. They do some of the more strenuous labor on the farm. Watch out, they will kill you.
Are there many at the farm?
There's just one.
Just one.
But
Moshguta is the name or the...
That's the name, yes.
Okay.
Is there any way that it can help us?
Well, if all the zombies are roaming around, I can only assume that Moshguta is no longer under control, and they were quite the fight to get tamed, so I'd be careful with that one.
So
I imagine they don't listen to orders very well.
No.
Anything that we should know in terms of like deterring Moshguta from rendering us sort of scraps?
Nope.
Nope.
Be smart and hit it hard, and hopefully it'll go down.
Be smart and hit it hard.
Advice.
Okay.
That's some sound advice.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited that we're gonna property as the reward. I love a campaign with property.
I'm looking forward to maintaining
Joint ownership of a manor with 4 people that we do not know.
Yeah.
Hype house.
Yeah.
Yes, well, the farm is located about 16 miles southwest of Grey Dirge. If you have no further questions, I suggest you may want to leave now. You know, undead may live forever, but I won't.
Well, then let's get to it.
Berline, before we head out,
Yes?
has a situation like this ever happened before?
Not to my recollection. We've had times in the past where maybe zombies get a little rowdy, but for the most part, the charge hands are pretty quick at getting them back under control. We've never had something like this where they break out and it goes dark.
So this is the first documented case of
Yes.
just completely losing a location.
Yes, it's quite worrisome. That's why I'm hoping the 4 of you will be able to deal with this investigation.
We'll get it done.
Good luck, investigator.
How did you know?
So as a budding necromancer myself, would I be able to roll religion, or would I be able to maybe make a guess as to why this would be happening? Just while we're walking on the way there, I'm thinking to myself.
Yeah, give me a religion check.
Alrighty. Ooh, that'll be a 18.
All right, so you would think for something like this to happen, it sounds like either the charge hands just left and the zombies just ran amok. There was no longer anyone to control them. Especially because these zombies, they're pretty weak as far as undead goes, so that's all you can really think of.
Alrighty, and
Berline said that sorry to interrupt. Berline said that the charge hands, like, they didn't come back to her.
No, so the
they
ones that
just
live
simply
there,
seemed to have disappeared.
yes, and the people that she sent to the farm, they did see bodies from a distance, so she's hoping that's not the charge hands, but they couldn't get close enough.
I'm deeply concerned about there being approximately 30 zombies that are running amok.
Well, don't worry about it.
This is out of character.
Well, she did say most of the zombies, like some of them have wandered out into like the surrounding fields and stuff.
Well, we should be fine with that massive beast of a
Oh, yeah.
What
in the
was-
middle.
I'm sure he's gotten a little hungry.
What was his name again? Makdus? What?
Mashguta.
Mashguta.
Oh, do you have one more question?
yeah, I guess it's directed at Berline, but would we be tasked with retrieving the zombies that have wandered off?
No, I think once you investigate I'm mostly concerned with Moshguta. Once they're sort of taken care of, if you could trap some of the zombies and keep them to be sort of made docile again, that'd be great. If not, I can always reanimate them.
That is a fair point.
Also, there are zombie hounds. I don't think I mentioned that.
That would be good.
no,
That's
I'm
good to
good.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just watch out. They will bite your ankles.
I think when we say hounds, we talking like great hounds? Are we talking
They're
Like a-
dogs.
like
a
Yorkshire
reanimated
Terriers
chihuahua,
or?
I'm not actually sure.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
One more question. Is there not some kind of system in place for if something like this is to happen?
No, unfortunately, we don't have a playbook. I'm hoping the 4 of you can write that for me.
You know, I imagine in Geb they really don't give a shit about like if employees there's no like health and safety. There's no like OSHA, right? Like,
I mean, finding people to reanimate is pretty easy. So
yeah. If an employee dies on the line, you just reanimate them.
yeah, that's
Like,
true. Yeah, that's a good point. All right, no further questions for me.
I believe
Consider
that
it
would be
done.
All right. Good luck, and I await to hear your report.
Very well. Let's leave.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys leave the manor. Do you guys want to talk strategy before you go there?
Do you guys want to talk to Clarissa?
Sure.
4.
I just want to know because she's pretty new, so it might be sort of like a red herring thing. But if she's losing control of a zombie here, maybe she's been experiencing something recently that's affecting her control. Is my thought.
I would be okay with at least probing.
I
her
want
for
to do
that.
this.
I will share with the group as we're walking, like my thoughts based off of my religion check earlier.
Mm-hmm. Like you found out that it's kind of like these are weak, like low level undead. They're fairly simple to control.
yeah, it sounds
right?
like the people controlling them just gone
gone.
Or killed.
or killed. They did see bodies.
We don't know.
Mhm.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though she's a student, it might even be like a trivial thing. This could be like 1 + 1 = 2.
To control them,
Yeah, like it might be just like a trivial, like this is first day of class.
like a mindless undead. Yeah, I have undead empathy, so like I am able to control mindless undead with a diplomacy check. But like, I think it just seems like it seems like they were just killed. The what were they called again? Sorry,
Charge hands.
the charge hands. They were either killed or for some reason had some motivation to leave. But let's talk to Clarissa. See if there's, maybe she's experiencing some difficulty controlling them lately,
Yeah.
and then we'll see.
Yeah, we'll just see.
We'll see.
Give me a society check, Nico.
Society
Because you were talking to the charge hands left.
10.
Anyway, so what do you guys want to do? You want to talk to Clarissa?
Is there something I can do retroactively quickly?
Sure.
and actually, use a feature of my character.
Yep.
I just want to get details on Marshguta,
Mashkuta.
and I would actually like to pursue a lead on Marshguta.
Okay.
So, just a little bit of an investigator. So once per 10 minutes, I can spend a minute examining details of a potential clue, and I can choose a subject, which is typically a single creature, item, or small location, and it becomes my lead. So whenever I do a skill check associated of my lead, say I was tracking Marshguta,
Mhm.
I would get a bonus to that roll.
Okay.
So I would like to pursue a lead on Marshguta
Sure.
and get more details from Berline about
Okay.
Marshguta.
Yeah, Berline will get. There's not a lot. It's basically just a zombified cow.
Zombified cow?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
So
not
it
like-
should be the only one there. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be hard to find.
Yeah, there's only one of them. If you see two, you should run.
Then I really gotta go.
If do I need to be able to see the creature to do recall knowledge on them?
I think so.
Um,
I think
so
you have
I
to
think-
perceive them somehow.
I will let you roll without seeing it, but it's going to be a harder check because you can't see it.
Okay. Can I? Well, yeah, this is on a creature, so I can use esoteric lore, which is a unique feature of the thaumaturge. I basically have a recall knowledge check that I can use for any creature, any haunt. It's like the integral feature of my class is basically being able to recognize very niche things and like gain advantages. Okay, that's gonna be 26.
Okay. So 26.
Wow.
So what you know about Mashkuta?
Would that be a critical success by any chance?
Let me look. So this would be, and it's gonna be hard. It would not be a critical success.
Oh,
I'll
bummer.
say you know one based on Berline's description of this zombie cow.
Okay. Oh no, this is recall knowledge. Okay.
I'll give you one thing about Mashkuta.
Should I look at weaknesses? It's probably not going to have any weaknesses.
I
Should I
don't
look at
know.
resistances?
Maybe.
Maybe a resistance.
Yeah.
Does it have any resistances?
It does have resistances. You would know all physical damage. It has DR3.
DR3. Okay. That's okay. That's okay.
not bad.
When I exploit vulnerability, my attacks become magical.
There you go.
It doesn't solve my problem, but I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
I,
Alright.
I say we head out then. So she said this was how far away?
It's about 16 miles south.
Do we want to
16 miles
to the,
south.
Yeah.
assistant?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Sorry.
Yeah,
Let's
sorry.
talk to the assistant first.
Would you mind if we talk to Glorissa?
Oh, of course, of
Yeah.
course. Reacher, can you please bring the
Carries her in.
This guy does everything.
Yes. Would you like to talk to her in the interrogation room? Yeah, they'll get Clarissa to come in.
Okay.
She'll bow.
Glorissa,
Yes, sir.
how long have you been training to be a charge hand?
I've been learning for about 6 months now. I'm not very good at it.
Okay. It's a good thing that you assessed your competency. We're just curious. I imagine you take control of the zombies on a fairly regular basis. You're fairly involved.
For the most part, I'm still learning. I'm getting better every day, but it's what you saw when you got here. That's not uncommon for.
Okay.
For
well,
me.
that's everything we need to know. That's exactly everything we need to know.
Perfect.
Yes. Thank you for your time.
See you.
Yeah, leave.
Leave.
Yes, master. Yes, Master Knickknack. And she'll run off.
Oh, I like Master Knickknack.
Master Knickknack.
Alrighty, okay. I think we've covered all our bases here.
Do we want to grab anything before we go? Does anyone want to shop for anything?
Ooh. Is there anything Berline will give us for free? Do you have any like nets or anything we could use to trap the zombies?
Yeah, I got a net. One net. Here's a net.
Cool, we got enough.
We've got one net.
You don't have a net in those many bags of yours?
No.
Damn.
Should I get a deployable tent?
No, not again.
She'll give you a net, and if you're trying to restrain them, she'll give you a pair of fuzzy handcuffs.
Ooh.
There we go.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm gonna put that out on my sheet because manacles are expensive.
But she doesn't have the key.
Oh. And they
One time use.
they come locked already.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. I say we venture off.
Okay.
Let's go.
And it's 60 miles southwest, not southeast. I know it doesn't really change anything, but just so you guys know.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
no,
going
no.
the wrong way.
Yeah, we better go southwest. Yeah.
Is it through like forest, plains, where we kind
So
of.
as you guys are walking there, so the first thing you kind of know is this road, it only goes to old Urga's farm, so you don't really see anyone on the way there. Another thing, it's mostly low foothills, it makes it ideal to farm with zombies out here because if they kind of get out, they can't get very far because of the uneven terrain. As you guys are walking there, you can see all the different crops. Most of it is mostly grains like wheat and barley. There's some peas and lentils as well. And you guys would also know in recent years there's been some efforts made to cultivate dates and olives in Great Deer. So you can see like some smaller
really Mediterranean.
Yeah,
Exotic.
Lentils, dates, olives.
people like olives.
People do like olives. You know, I just thinking about it, by the way. Earlier I asked you if I had critically succeeded. If you're unfamiliar with the Pathfinder 2e system, you may not understand what that means at all. And we're going to use it a lot. I feel like as we go into this encounter, we're probably going to make quite a few rolls. Adam, do you want to do it or should I?
You go ahead.
Okay, so the way that rolling in Pathfinder 2e works is a little bit different to sort of like D&D, if you're familiar with that, where you roll, if you get a 20, you have a critical and you're just like the best in the world and you can do it even if it's impossible to do. In Pathfinder, basically you have like thresholds of success, right? So you can fail or succeed normally, and that usually is fairly explainable. But if you exceed the challenge rating for a certain check or roll by 10, right? 10, you critically succeed, which means you get a benefit to your success. And the way that rolling like a 20 or a 1 affects it now is that if you would succeed with a 20, you do 1 success rating higher. Right. So if you would have normally failed, but you rolled the 20, you succeed. If you would have normally succeeded, you get a critical success. Same thing with a 1. So like if you would have succeeded, you instead fail. If you fail, you instead critically fail.
Yeah. It will be coming up a lot. So it's definitely good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, takes you like 2 hours to walk 16 miles, 3 hours.
We're skeletons.
16 miles.
That's a
2
lot.
hours?
2 hours.
No.
This is a fantasy make believe land.
We get on all fours and we're fucking galloping.
So you guys have, after an undisclosed amount of time, you guys eventually arrive at this farm. And as you guys approach, so you're on this road, it eventually leads to a low valley filled with grain fields. Despite the harsh climate, the crops appear to be very healthy and vibrant. Narrow paths branch from the main road and into the fields, but the road itself leads to a sturdy, wrought iron gate in a 20-foot high wall of weathered red stone. Several low stone buildings stand silent around a trampled yard beyond the gate, where 2 human corpses lie in soiled, ragged clothes. One sprawls face down in the dirt just to the right of the gate, and the other is sort of slumped down on the gate. And its head is awkwardly jammed in a small gap between the 2 gates.
How are we approaching this? Should I have the lantern on or off? Are we trying to like not draw too much attention?
Wait, it's like daytime, right?
Yeah, it's daytime.
The light. Well,
the light-
oh yeah. Will they see the light at all? It doesn't matter. So I'll have it on, right? Because it won't
I mean,
it won't make
think
us
it'll
any
make
more
too much of an
noticeable than
impact.
not having it on.
I'm going to assume mindless undead are aggressive, so I will have my weapon drawn.
I should explain why that's important that I have the lantern
We'll
on.
get there later.
Well,
Okay.
when it comes up, yeah. But I will have my weapon drawn.
Okay, I'm assuming everyone
I
else
know
has their
mindless
weapon.
undead.
Yeah.
I am my weapon, so it's always drawn.
Ooh.
You have to get a license for that.
Oh no! I forgot to renew it.
You do enough jujitsu, you have to get a license because your hands are deadly weapons.
Yeah.
So these 2 bodies.
Yeah, so there's
I don't know
one.
if I want to let the investigator investigate. But
I
how are they looking? Like, do they look like they've been like battered up and
They-
murdered, or
give
have
me-
they collapsed?
Everyone give me a perception check.
I would love to.
Ooh,
13 from Mathis.
26 with a natural 20.
Whoa!
That's
That's a 15 for Igsby.
Okay.
it's a 24 Elrune.
Okay.
I love my first 2 rolls of the game were 19 and 20.
Must be nice.
So it's great, but it means the second we do anything challenging, I'm screwed. I've used all my good juju.
I'm saving mine up. I got an 11 and a 13.
Yeah. That's the strat. You want to
ideal.
roll low
It's
and then
ideal.
hit high.
Okay. So you guys can see, I guess, John, with your eagle eyes, you notice that it looks like these zombies have taken a beating.
Sorry, continue.
They have rotting flesh, so you think these were zombies? Like at one point, it wasn't like a living creature that died.
Okay.
It looks, you can see like a trail of blood leading to them, so you assume some foul play happened. You guys would need to get closer if you wanted to do an assessment of that.
Of the bodies?
Yeah, and you can also see in the gate, it's slightly ajar because the zombie's obviously like wedged in it, and you can kind of see a little bit into the yard, and you can see it's been damaged, like some shit went down.
Does it look like the zombie was trying to get into the gate and the gate was like preventing it? Because you said his head was like wedged in the door.
Yeah. So yeah, you notice it looks like it was going in to get wedged like that, and it looks like the other one left from inside.
Okay.
So what I was going to say is that so there currently I have the lantern out, right? So anything in the lantern light, I get everybody that's standing in the light gets a +1 bonus to recall knowledge or visual perception checks. So anything else, like anyone that's in the light gets a bonus against anything else that's in the light.
Okay.
So technically we'd have all had +1 to that check, but also you roll a passive check anytime I walk past any secrets, anything hidden, any traps.
Okay.
So based off my perception.
Sure.
Okay.
What was the range on that light again?
It's 20 feet of bright light and 20 feet of dim light, but only things in the first 20 feet are relevant.
And you guys are all staying like 100 feet from each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also
we're
going
spreading
to
out.
detect magic running while we're walking around.
Sure.
Should we get closer to the bodies then?
Iggsy, you absolutely should.
All right.
Yeah. Are you going to the one in
Get
the
touchy
gate
feely with them.
Uh,
Really
one-
investigate.
on this like the side?
I'll go
move,
to the one on the gate.
I'll move up with him. So
Okay.
that, yeah.
I will
Okay.
cautiously approach the one on the gate.
I will take the what's the explore action where you search, like you not search, but you like do the passive perception checks. It's not scouting. It
I
is
should know that.
search.
it is search.
It's search,
It is
yeah.
literally.
No, okay, good. I will.
Should we explain exploration actions?
Yeah.
John?
Not a bad idea.
Oh, am I rules, bitch?
You're just
Either
so
rules.
good. So good at explanations.
Okay, so Pathfinder, they have these actions that you can take that are sort of like persistent actions while you're exploring, and they give you different benefits. One of the easiest ones to explain is like scout, where you say I'm taking the scout action, and then as long as you're maintaining that action during an exploration period, you get a +1 to your initiative if combat starts, right? Search is very similar. You say I'm taking the search action, you have to slow down while you're moving through stuff. The assumption is that you're a little bit slower, but you're taking the time to like perceive things and make sure and be aware of hazards. What does it do specifically? I think it lets you roll a persistent check, right? Concealed hazard. I don't know. I have to read it again, but there's lots and lots and lots of different actions that you can take for exploration. They let you interact with the game in a whole bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into like a list of them. We'll probably explain which ones we're using when we use them.
Yeah, it's sort of a way, because a lot of times when people would do stuff, they'd be like, oh, well, my character would have been doing this, and this sort of eliminates that discussion, and now like we know 100% what your character was doing while exploring. Okay, so Andrew, you said I think you and Knickknack were approaching the
Yes.
zombie in the gate.
We're gonna
Okay.
approach the zombie in the gate.
Okay, you guys approach it. What would you like to do?
I guess I would like to. Is it obvious that the cause of death was being crushed in a gate, or did it seem like it was dead before?
Give me a perception check.
Sure,
You have a +1,
I do.
and that's a status
And
bonus.
And how close
I
are you
should-
getting?
I will get within 20 feet.
20
of it.
feet? Okay.
Yeah. If this has anything to do with my current lead, which is
It doesn't.
the cow. I forget the cow's name already.
Moshkuta.
Mashguta. If it has anything to do with Mashguta, I also get a +1.
Okay.
So just add that in on your end, if it
Sure.
ever is related to
Okay.
the cow right now.
Can I add as well? I am going to be about 10 feet behind them. Detect magic has a range of 30 feet. If I detect any,
Okay.
like necromancy
Yeah, I'll
magic
let you
or
know.
anything like
I'll
that.
probably just be standing near Ilrune.
13.
Once you get within 20 feet, you're kind of looking. You think you would have to get a little closer to see it, but suddenly you see the body starts to move, and it kind of throws the gate open, and it turns around to start approaching you guys, and you guys can also see the other zombie on the side of the road stands up, and it begins to move towards you guys. And we'll see how this fight plays out in episode 2.
Whoa!